Hi guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution Tarot, and I just wanted to pop on and bring you a quick message. I'm being guided to bring the Godfather Tarot, so we'll see what we get. Guys, just remember that nothing... Sorry guys, I'm on my stairs, and my cat is very intrigued with what's going on, okay? But no matter what messages come through, it's still up to you and your active free will and your discernment, the choices you make and the steps you take in your world to get whatever fulfillment it is you'd like to see. To me, that's personal freedom, it's personal power, and my friends, it lies at the tips of your fingers and the soles of your feet, so use that power wisely. See what messages we have coming, please. What messages would you like us to have? Okay. So, I heard first off flip-flop because they did fall out and flip. First, I saw the Ace of Wands with new beginnings. We have Don Corleone. The next we have here is anxiety with the Nine of Swords. We have the Wheel of Fortune. It looks like in reverse, and so was the Nine of Swords. Justice in the reverse. We do have the Death card here in the upright, which is actually a really good thing because this means that there is transformation happening. It's not being thwarted. Excuse me. In terms of this new beginning, I just want to go here with what I heard is death is also a new beginning, right? And they're again playing the song Closing Time in my head, but that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. There's a real, I will show you these, but there's a real importance of the two scythes or whatever, scythes, and the raven or crow in between. They talk about transformation and change, yes, and also new beginnings. So you do have two new beginnings here, but for what I'm hearing about is like this raven or this crow, they weave between worlds, so they can move between life and death. They can move between dimensions as well, and they're very magic birds, and the same thing goes for the process of death and transformation. It's a very magical process, and it's something that I feel like whatever's happening, there may be a situation where it's good to see almost the Nine of Swords in the reverse, though, because the anxiety isn't something that you're going to let get the best of you. I do feel like there's something happening where this may be perceived, but that something is standing in the way of your luck and your fate, and there's a decision or something kind of legal affairs that says that might need to go in your favor, and that they're still not quite there. So the King of Cups is here in the reverse. A message with the Page of Wands, again, it was in the reverse. And then we also have speed and offer with the Knight of Wands. And this in the reverse. So I feel like there is definitely something that we feel thwarting us or stopping from whatever it is that's coming. I want to see the bottom, strength. And it's taken a long time. It's taken a lot of strength throughout this process in order, what I heard is to move on. For some of you, okay, the word to hear was to move on, to grow up. What I heard is also to see our part of things. And it could be, you know, that is one of the hardest things even. They're showing me here management, okay? And and endurance, but what I almost heard with this is like an anger management thing too. That as we're moving through this process, there's going to be parts of ourselves and things that we do and reactions that we have and you name it, okay, that we're not really going to be proud of and that we have to take a real look at here. And that putting an end to that situation or those circumstances is actually, well, maybe very painful, maybe really hard, especially if we're in that situation where we are learning, you know, and we're having, what I heard is for some of you, you're learning to stand up for yourselves. And for some of you, that's where the growing up happens as well. Because if we stop growing, then we're just going to stay stagnant. No matter how old we are, we do need to continue to grow. So, wrong way. I did see the Hermit, though, when I was doing that. Just going to get a little bit more clarification. What happens with this transformation? What is the, I heard expected energy. How can we move through this transformation? Thank you. To bring the new beginning is the King of Swords, strong-willed and clarity. With all of the reversals that were kind of coming through there, it could be really because there is not clarity. The King of Cups in the reverse as well, which is normally just loving, caring, open-hearted. There's something holding back as well. And it could be something that, what I heard is you could even be dealing with for like past lives or something that, I'm actually going to go get the past life deck. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So I also brought the messages from the mermaid. I do feel like, because I was so drawn again today to bring like the Godfather with me, and like strength as well is still Don Corleone. Like, I think this is really important, knowing that you, what they said again, some of it's anger management, but need to be able to take accountability for our, this is not a preaching thing, okay? We all need to be able to take accountability for our actions. And we may know someone who we feel needs to take accountability for their actions, but I feel like it's really important here because there is a lot of this management where you think about what he has to do and how much strength it does take to run the mob. But I think it's really important to make decisions based on clarity, not like a confuzzled kind of whatever mess. So I am going to get into this past life oracle though, because having death here, I did see baby for some of you as well. So like for some of this stuff, it could even be, okay, so I have two things. Okay, this, I'm going to show you is male, female, and wisdom in the reverse. And then we had orphan and medicine woman. So I do feel like there's a lot of innocent inner child work that maybe really needed healing in places where I feel like we feel abandoned. For some of us, we may have had huge losses and we may actually have lost our parents, and that is also something where I feel like to honor the cycles of your grief, to honor the cycles of how you feel. For some of you, what I heard is as well in terms of if that is true, or, you know, take it how it resonates. But for some of you, and again, this is specific, you may be looking at, again, with this wisdom, okay, and seeing it from more of a perspective, not just looking at it one-sided, looking at it as a holistic thing. You know, you may see your life and your childhood and may realize that things were not as they always seemed. You may, what I heard is for some of you be going through, like with this orphan thing, starting to finally, you know, come to acceptance with some of the ways that your childhood was. For some of you it's good, for some of you it's not so good, and this is how do we integrate this moving forward. I feel like, again, like take this how it resonates, but if it is for you, this person, like if you have lost a loved one or a parent or something, and you're still going through it, for some of you I feel like you may need to honestly have a contact, like a conversation in the spirit world. This could be, you know, just you even talking to them. For some of you, like a meditation, shamanic journeying, hoping to speak to this family member. But I do feel like there's a lot of wisdom that could be had for taking a higher perspective. That's just what they're saying. Now, it's also really important too, because I feel like for some of you, if you were raised in not like necessarily the Godfather environment, but there was a lot of cutthroat, is what I heard as well. So it is really going to be important for you. My cat's gone psycho. What was this one just flew out? Unrequited love. And we have lessons and blessings on the bottom. It's going to be important to see these lessons. And oftentimes, like I'm hearing the quote, like, you know, when the universe denies us something or we feel rejected, a lot of times that's our protection. That was God's protection to keep us out of that situation, right? So I'm just going to end with a message from the mermaids and see. Thank you. We have re-energize. Going forward, we also have miracles. Expect miracles. Believe in miracles. There's something else I want to tell you before I leave this recording, but I also want to talk about this first, is that do the things that make you feel good, that bring energy to your body. Practice that wisdom. If you know your body, you know the things that make you feel energized, do those, body, mind, and soul as well. For some of you, what I heard is this could be, you know, eating good foods, drinking lots of water, dancing, listening to great music, connecting with a friend. Something that reinvigorates you. And as well as for some of you, this is like this duality, I do feel like. For some of you, this situation with, when the King of Cups was in reverse, there's a whole lot of, this is holding back, not being open. And I do think that some of the stuff that's blocking the heart space and allowing miracles to seep in and allowing what I heard is like the love to, for some of you it's hers to be exchanged, but to be felt, there is this inner child wounding and healing that needs to happen before okay, if they're just saying like you really want to work on this person, this inner child, because this is the person, the inside of us, who will self-sabotage and hold back because I've got, okay, we could have fear of abandonment, we could have, fear that we're just gonna have to do it on our own anyway. What's the point of sharing my feelings? Because every time I do, they are, insert what you need to here. But I feel like there's something happening, and it is with a very important dynamic in your world where you're being asked, I think when they're saying within this healing too, is to really honor the masculine and feminine parts of yourselves. And for some of you, especially if you have struggled with, allowing the feeling and allowing and accepting the flow, I think Spirit, they're saying like there's an initiation coming. But the unicorn is here. And I almost grabbed the magical unicorns deck. But I was like, no, this one. It's because it showed up anyway. And you are wise. So I'm going to grab to you and read to you the unicorn wisdom. Because while this stuff is important, that we need some inner child healing, the most important thing is that we are learning our lessons and we're gaining wisdom and clarity. So let's see what message I opened to Orphan too. So it says you drew this card because you've had one or more past lives as an orphan. This is creating a current life abandonment fear for you. For those of you who didn't have your mother or father protection, love, and support, you developed a great strength and inner resilience, which continues to help you in this life. However, you may have also developed survival skills that are double-edged. These coping mechanisms help to get you by, but also blunt your heart and emotions. Most likely, this card is a reminder to acknowledge that your true mother-father is God, spirit, source. You also are reminded that you have a family of choice consisting of friends and other loved ones, including your pets. In spiritual truth, it's impossible to be an orphan. Your true heavenly parent is always with you. If you do tend to isolate yourself, you may benefit from seeking compassionate support from a 12-step emotions anonymous group or qualified counselor. And this also, when I was talking about anger, it's an emotion. People like to forget that anger is an emotion because it's so angry. However, but there is reasons for our anger, some of it legitimate, some of it just underlying things being projected outwards, and it is up to us to change this. I also feel like if you have children as well, there are generational curses that it's up to us to break, and you do have to see it to change it. And if it is something that falls back and you witness this coming from you, it is our responsibility as parents to, what I heard is, move forward with as much love and grace as possible. Be and treat our children like little people. They really deserve apologies, and I heard his explanations as well. But then changed behavior. This is the biggest thing, so that we're not perpetuating this thing, right? So re-energize. And I did see persecution as well, and I'm sure for a lot of you, especially if you're the change maker and the cycle breakers, you have been persecuted for your beliefs, and you've been persecuted for the way you've enforced your boundaries. And wisdom here is going to tell you that, these are stepping stones along the block, but you have the strength of Don Corleone, my friends. And you have the will, strong-willed, my friend, to make what you see in this world as you need it to happen. I almost want to say it like the world, to make these things happen. And what I heard is we may be dropping some self-sabotage, okay? This could come in lots of forms. Like for me, it would be, don't eat this stuff. You're not supposed to eat or drink stuff that, that doesn't feel great for you. What I heard as well is it may be really important and beneficial to set some goals in the next little while. Some could be long term, some could be short term, but something attainable, something small to start with to get you kind of like along that path. So I'm going to read the wisdom card for you guys, and if anything comes to you while this is happening, kind of like honor your intuition and especially if it's from your own spirit guides coming through, okay? That's what I'm hearing. This card indicates that you have tremendous wisdom and knowledge from prior lifetimes that seek to resurface now. Even if you've never thought of yourself as particularly wise, this card indicates that you've learned important lessons and information that will serve you and others if it's reawakened now. This card can indicate that it's time for you to return to school or to seek additional education of some sort. This may even be a sign that you're changing your career path. Your re-emerging knowledge is guiding you towards work that is more meaningful. This card asks you to believe in yourself and to know that you have what it takes to tackle a career related to your true interests and passions. So if fear is what's holding you back, what I heard is banish that shit. Wipe that shit off the face of the earth. Like, it's not like it's easy, right? Like, fear's there for a reason. But also, fear stops so many more dreams than failure ever does, because fear stops us from taking that leap. So, there's going to be, like, for some of you, I heard, like, truth. For some of you, it could be, like, you starting a YouTube channel or something on social media. Speaking your truth, or speaking your voice, and being a voice to help other people who have been in your situation. For some of you, you're going to know what that is. Food and hunger, Roman Greece. It's a little one for me. It could be for you too, right? Just take it how it resonates. But there is a lot of stuff that stop us in the way, and they are just kind of, like there is a lot. What is that one? I didn't even have this deck, okay. It says the Archangel Raphael deck, I believe, or it could be Gabriel. The more you open your heart and pour your love into your creations, the greater their life force energy. The more you put your heart into things for yourself as well, the greater that life force energy. So re-evolve, re-energize, and do the things that, like, bring back that life force energy, okay? Love you guys. Bye.